Welcome to RTA News. Here are the top stories for September. Tragedy struck Chicago Transit as 5 people were shot in 2 separate shootings. The first occurred on September 2nd when 4 people were shot and killed at the Forest Park station in the Blue Line. The victims were allegedly sleeping as they were killed by suspect Ronnie Davis. Davis was apprehended on the Pink Line shortly after the shooting. No motive has been given. The attacks as of now appear to have been random. The CTA was further marked by violence a day later when a CTA worker was shot at the Howard station. The individual works as a rail switch operator and was off duty when they were shot from a white SUV. The victim is expected to survive. No suspect has been apprehended. The shootings come amidst calls for more actions to be done about the increased crime that has plagued the system. Crime levels have remained significantly high since the COVID-19 pandemic started. It has deterred many riders from riding a system that's desperate to gain its commuters back. The mayor of Chicago blames a lack of gun control in neighboring states and offered his condolences to the victims. During the September CTA board meeting, the focus is on creating a safer environment for all riders and discuss public safety improvements in the wake of the shootings. After holding a moment of silence for the victims, the board discussed enhancing security measures, including increasing police presence and strengthening collaborations between community and government organizations to tackle crime in the system. Members stressed the importance of addressing systemic safety issues while ensuring that any new measures are equitable and supportive of vulnerable communities. Further tragedy struck on the 25th when a bus hijacking unfolded in Los Angeles. A gunman, identified as Lamont Campbell, boarded a Metro bus, shot a passenger, then forced the driver to keep driving at gunpoint. The incident led to a slow police pursuit across downtown Los Angeles lasting over an hour. The driver managed to keep the bus moving while under extreme duress, with police vehicles following closely. Police used spike strips to bring the bus to a stop. The suspect then barricaded himself inside, prompting a SWAT intervention. Eventually, the gunman was apprehended, but tragically, the passenger who was shot did not survive. The other individuals on the bus were unharmed, though the motive of the attack remains unclear. The MTA released its capital construction plan for 2025 through 2029. This plan outlines the expansion and improvement projects the MTA intends to build throughout the next 5 years. One of the flagship projects of this capital plan is the long-awaited 2nd Avenue subway extension. This phase will finally expand the line from 96th Street up to 125th Street in East Harlem. It's a crucial project for improving access to underserved communities and will connect with Metro North, making it easier for riders to commute across the city. On the equipment side, the MTA plans a massive overhaul of its aging fleet. They are planning to order 1,500 new subway cars to replace older models like the R62s and R68s, which are near the end of their useful lives. These new cars will be equipped with modern community-based train controls, or CBTC, to improve reliability and frequency of service. For buses, the MTA is committed to going green with the purchase of 500 zero-emission buses as part of their push to achieve a fully green fleet by 2040. On top of that, they'll add 2,000 conventional buses with modern amenities like mobile device charging and wider doors. Other projects include signal modernization, upgrading 75 miles of subway line with CBTC, the Interborough Express, and making 60 more subway stations ADA accessible. As of now, the full capital program is expected to cost a modest $68.4 billion. Chicago's Greyhound bus station is set to close in October, raising concerns for the hundreds of thousands of riders who depend on it annually. This move could leave Chicago without a dedicated intercity bus terminal, making it one of the largest cities globally to lack such a facility. Greyhound's lease is set to expire in October, and the city's current plans do not include purchasing or maintaining the terminal. This could force travelers to rely on curbside pickups or other less accessible locations, potentially straining vulnerable populations like low-income riders, the elderly, and people with disabilities. The closure also poses a risk of increased congestion and fewer bus service overall. Advocates have warned that this could mirror the negative effects seen in cities like Philadelphia, where station closures led to passenger confusion and logistical problems. As of now, the city has no plans for what happens after the bus station closes. Greyhound itself is working on some solutions, including routing more buses to Gary, Indiana. As of now, the city has no plans for what happens after the bus station closes. Greyhound itself is working on some solutions, including routing more buses to nearby Gary, Indiana. Some West Baltimore residents are opposing the planned Frederick Douglass Tunnel and want to delay the sale of city-owned property to Amtrak. The residents allege that the tunnel disproportionately impacts Baltimore's Black and low-income community members. In May, a civil rights complaint was filed by a group of Reservoir Hill residents to the Department of Transportation and that group is urging the city of Baltimore to halt the sale to Amtrak until the complaint is reviewed by federal authorities. The opposition is due to Amtrak tunneling roughly 100 feet below the homes of the neighborhoods in West Baltimore and will require a handful of property to be demolished. As of now, the city and the Amtrak are proceeding with the plan, and Amtrak has already sent out offer letters to homeowners for their subterranean land. The Frederick Douglass Tunnel will add 2 new tubes for passenger service and improve a 10-mile section of the Northeast Corridor around Baltimore. The project is expected to cost $6 billion and should be completed around 2035. With significantly less controversy, Amtrak has begun construction on a $1.3 billion project to replace the aging Connecticut River Bridge located between Old Lyme and Old Saybrook, Connecticut. The current bridge, built in 1907, often causes delays due to malfunctioning openings. The new bridge, expected to be completed by 2031, will allow trains to travel at 70 miles per hour, up from the current 45, and reduce the number of bridge openings needed for marine traffic. The new bridge and the Frederick Douglass tunnels are part of a number of projects to improve travel along the beleaguered Northeast Corridor. These projects include the new Portal Bridge currently being built in New Jersey, as well as the Gateway Tunnel under the Hudson River. After months of speculation, Amtrak has confirmed it will start a new service between Chicago and Miami. Starting on November 10th, the Capitol Limited and the Silver Star will be combined into a new line called the Floridian. This line will connect Chicago to Miami via Washington, D.C., and will help Amtrak alleviate the shortage of superliners, which will mostly be redeployed to Western Chicago and will provide relief for the Northeast Corridor while improvements are made. The change was first discovered by a few internet rail fans who discovered a scheduling change back in the summer when it was noticed the Silver Star was going to originate in D.C. close to the time when the Capitol Limited was supposed to arrive. This change will be confirmed by Amtrak on the 23rd with the announcement of the new service. This is the first time Amtrak has run passenger trains between Chicago and Miami since 1979, when the original Floridian was discontinued. As of now, this change is temporary. However, Amtrak gave no time frame for how long the Floridian will run. The city of Stuart, Florida voted to rescind its agreement with the county of Marin to build a new Brightline station. Despite local support, the Stuart City Commission voted 3-2 to rescind the ground lease agreement with Brightline and to rescind its interlock agreement with Marin County for the new station. The city and county originally agreed to pay up to $45 million for the station. However, once the cost of borrowing was included, costs rose to $82 million. Following the vote, Marin County Board of Commissioners made a motion to renegotiate the deal with Brightline. This development has sparked the interest of neighboring Fort Pierce, who may try and make a new bid for its own station. Fort Pierce has made it known that despite being originally passed over by Brightline, they would still be interested in a new stop and already has 3 potential sites for a new station. While Fort Pierce has vowed not to interfere with the process in Stuart, it's still going to monitor developments as they go along. The Transport Workers Union has requested that the Department of Transportation deny Brightline additional federal funding. The TWU claims that Brightline has blocked its onboard service personnel from unionizing, violating President Biden's executive orders that prioritizes funding for companies with positive labor management relations. Brightline, which has already received $36 million in federal grants, is seeking more, but the TWU opposes this unless the company changes its stance to unionization. The onboard crew began calls for unionizing after accusing Brightline of overworking its crew and being insensitive to those traumatized by frequent accidents on Brightline. Unfortunately, that request wasn't received in time as the Federal Railroad Administration finalized a $3 billion grant for the Brightline West Rail project. This funding, awarded to the Nevada Department of Transportation, will support the construction of the 218-mile high-speed rail line connecting Las Vegas to Rancho Cucamonga. This grant approval sets the stage for heavy construction to begin in 2025, with the completion estimated in 2028. 15 years after it was shut off, WMATA is looking to reinstate automatic train operations. Metro plans to reintroduce automated operations on the Red Line in December, marking the first return to automation since a fatal crash in 2009 halted the system. This shift aims to improve efficiency and reduce human errors such as missed platforms or abrupt stops, leading to faster commutes. After addressing safety concerns, including replacing faulty track circuits, Metro expects that all lines will be fully automated by the summer of 2025. Automation will still allow operators to oversee the system, especially in construction areas or during special events. WMATA halted its automated operations following a collision on the Red Line in June 2009, which resulted in 9 fatalities and over 80 injuries. The incident was attributed to a failure in the train detection system near the Fort Totten station, which did not recognize the stopped train. Despite the automation not being the direct cause, safety concerns led officials to switch back to manual operations. A New York State Supreme Court judge denied Governor Katherine Hochul's motion to dismiss 2 lawsuits that challenges her pause to the congestion pricing program. The suit, filed by environmental and transportation advocacy groups, argue that Hochul's decision violates state law. The ruling allows the lawsuits to proceed, potentially challenging the legality of the governor's actions. Hochul has 30 days to appeal or lift the pause. This development marks a significant step for congestion pricing advocates seeking to resume the program. And finally, Charlotte, North Carolina took a major step to making its proposed red line a reality. The city finalized the purchase of 22 miles of Norfolk Southern tracks at a cost of $74 million. The city also paid an additional $17 million to purchase 1.6 acres of property where the future Charlotte Gateway Station will be. Once completed, the line will connect the northern suburbs to the uptown section of Charlotte, and the Gateway Station will connect Amtrak to the Charlotte area transit system. This marks the end of our video. If you enjoyed it and want to see more content like this, please like and subscribe to help support the channel, and you can also help support us on Ko-fi. Thank you for riding with us, and I hope to see you again soon.